You probably believe that waking up 3 or 4 times a night to use the bathroom is just an unavoidable part of getting older. Your doctor might have mentioned that your prostate is enlarging or that your bladder muscles are simply weakening. But what if that is completely wrong? What if the real reason you are stumbling through the dark at 2 in the morning has nothing to do with your age and everything to do with a completely overlooked daily habit? Let me introduce you to Arthur, a 71-year-old retired architect living in Michigan. For nearly half a decade, Arthur felt like a hostage in his own home. He would go to bed exhausted only to be jolted awake 2, 3, or sometimes 5 times a night. The constant interruptions left him dealing with severe morning brain fog. He stopped visiting his grandchildren because he was afraid of navigating unfamiliar hallways in the dark. He was terrified that his independence was slipping away, convinced that his body was finally breaking down. However, the truth was far more surprising. Once Arthur made one zero-cost, incredibly simple adjustment to his daily routine, he slept for 7 straight hours. It was a true blessing. Today, we are going to explore the fascinating biological mechanisms behind Arthur's success and how you can support your body to naturally manage nighttime urination. Before we uncover these life-changing habits, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and drop a comment below, letting us know how many times you wake up each night. You will quickly see that you are absolutely not alone, and together we can reclaim our restful mornings. To understand how to fix this, we have to stop looking at the bladder as an isolated problem. You see, the modern approach often treats the body like a collection of separate parts, but human biology is deeply interconnected. According to researchers at the Mayo Clinic, a massive portion of nighttime urination, clinically known as nocturia, is actually caused by fluid dynamics in your legs, not a faulty bladder. Think about what happens during your day. Whether you are sitting in a recliner, reading a book, or standing in the kitchen, gravity is constantly pulling fluids down into your lower extremities. You might not even notice it. It might just look like a slight swelling around your ankles or your socks, leaving a deeper mark than usual. But inside your body is storing ounces of excess fluid. When evening comes and you finally lie down in bed, your body becomes horizontal. Suddenly, gravity is no longer trapping that fluid in your feet. All that pooled water rushes back into your bloodstream. Your heart pumps it straight to your kidneys. Your kidneys, doing exactly what they were designed to do, filter this massive influx of fluid and send it directly to your bladder. So right when your brain is trying to enter deep restorative sleep, your bladder is suddenly filling up at record speed. You are not waking up because your bladder is weak. You are waking up because your kidneys are working overtime to process the fluid from your legs. Understanding this physiological mechanism changes everything. It means you do not have to rely endlessly on medications that leave your mouth dry and your head spinning. You have the power to manage this naturally. Arthur learned this the hard way after trying countless remedies that simply did not work. His breakthrough came when he started applying a technique called proactive fluid shifting. This brings us to the very first step in reclaiming your sleep. It is not about restricting your water intake to the point of dehydration, which is a dangerous myth many older adults fall for. It is about understanding the timing of gravity. Instead of simply drinking less, Arthur began elevating his legs above the level of his heart for 45 minutes every afternoon. By doing this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, while watching his favorite television show, he allowed gravity to pull the fluids back into your bloodstream while he was still awake. His kidneys processed the fluid. He used the bathroom a few times before dinner, and by the time his head hit the pillow, his legs were completely drained of excess water. His bladder remained quiet because the fluid had already been managed. This single zero-cost habit is a profound way to cooperate with your biology rather than fighting against it. But leg elevation is only one piece of the puzzle. There is another silent trigger hiding in your evening meals that acts like a magnet for water, forcing your kidneys to stay awake all night. And the worst part is most food companies market it as healthy. The second hidden trigger in your evening routine might be sitting right on your dinner plate: sodium. Now, you have probably heard that too much salt is bad for your blood pressure. The American Heart Association constantly reminds us to monitor our sodium intake to protect our cardiovascular system. But what many people, and even some doctors, overlook is the direct, profound connection between sodium and nocturia. Let's break down the biology in a way that makes sense. Your kidneys are essentially the master chemists of your body. They are responsible for maintaining a delicate balance of water and electrolytes, including sodium. When you consume a meal high in sodium, your body retains water to dilute that salt in your bloodstream. This is a survival mechanism. Your body is trying to keep your blood from becoming too salty. Think about a typical American dinner. A seemingly healthy bowl of canned soup, a serving of pasta with marinara sauce, or a slice of pizza. These items are often loaded with hidden sodium. If Arthur had a bowl of canned chicken noodle soup at 6 p.m., he was consuming a massive amount of sodium. To handle that, his body held onto extra water. When he lay down to sleep, as we discussed with the fluid shifting, his kidneys were suddenly tasked with filtering out both the excess fluid from his legs and the excess water retained by the high sodium load. The result? His bladder filled up incredibly fast, forcing him awake at 2:09 a.m. and then again at 4 a.m. The solution here is not a restrictive, tasteless diet. It is about strategic timing. By simply shifting his higher sodium meals to lunchtime and keeping his dinners very low in sodium, Arthur reduced the burden on his kidneys during the night. He focused on fresh vegetables, lean proteins, and complex carbohydrates for his evening meal. This small, zero-cost adjustment drastically reduced the volume of urine his body produced while he was trying to sleep. But managing gravity and sodium isn't enough if you are still making a critical mistake with your evening hydration. This is where the 2-hour rule comes into play, and it completely contradicts the common advice to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Hydration is essential, but timing is everything. As we age, our brains naturally produce less of an antidiuretic hormone, ADH, at night. ADH is the signal that tells your kidneys to slow down urine production while you sleep. Because Arthur, like many adults over 50, had lower levels of this hormone, his kidneys were already working harder at night. When he chugged a large glass of water at 8 p.m. right before bed, he was essentially flooding a system that was already struggling to keep up. His kidneys had no choice but to process that water immediately, sending it straight to his bladder. The 2-hour rule is a game changer. It means establishing a strict hydration cutoff exactly 2 hours before you intend to go to sleep. If your bedtime is 10 p.m., your last sip of liquid should be at 8 p.m. This gives your body a crucial window. During these 2 hours, your kidneys have time to process any remaining fluids. You can use the bathroom one final time right before getting into bed, ensuring your bladder is completely empty. Implementing the 2-hour rule requires a shift in how you hydrate throughout the day. Arthur had to learn to front-load his water intake. He drank a large glass of water right when he woke up and consistently sipped water throughout the morning and early afternoon. By doing this, he stayed fully hydrated without overloading his system in the evening. But the 2-hour rule isn't just about water. It applies to everything you consume in the evening, particularly sneaky sources of hidden fluids. Did you know that a slice of watermelon is over 90% water? Or that a bowl of grapes is almost entirely liquid? Arthur learned that his healthy evening snack of mixed fruit was secretly sabotaging his sleep. The water trapped inside those fruits was released during digestion, slowly filling his bladder throughout the night. He didn't have to stop eating fruit. He simply moved his fruit intake to his breakfast and lunch. For his evening routine, he focused on foods with a lower water content. This doesn't mean eating dry, unappetizing meals. It simply means being mindful of the actual fluid volume you are consuming as the sun goes down. A small adjustment like this, combined with elevating your legs and reducing evening sodium, creates a powerful compounding effect that helps your kidneys wind down for the night, rather than working an unexpected night shift. Now, we have discussed managing the fluids inside your body, but there is one more critical element to consider: the muscles that hold those fluids in place. As we age, the pelvic floor muscles, the hammock of muscles that support your bladder, naturally lose some of their tone and elasticity. For women, this is often due to hormonal changes during menopause or the effects of childbirth. For men, an enlarging prostate can put extra pressure on these muscles, making it harder for the bladder to fully expand or completely empty. When these muscles are weak, your bladder cannot hold as much fluid comfortably. Even a small amount of urine can trigger a strong, urgent signal to your brain, waking you up. This is often described as an overactive bladder, but it is frequently just a sign that your support muscles need some attention. The good news is that just like your biceps or your calf muscles, your pelvic floor muscles can be strengthened at any age. You do not need expensive gym equipment or specialized therapy to see a difference. You can do these exercises right in your own home, even while sitting in your favorite chair or lying in bed. These exercises, often called Kegels, are incredibly simple, but they must be done correctly to be effective. The key is to isolate the right muscles. Imagine you are trying to stop the flow of urine midstream. The muscles you use to do that are your pelvic floor muscles. To practice, sit comfortably and squeeze those muscles, pulling them upward and inward. Hold that squeeze for a count of 5 and then slowly release for a count of 5. Repeat this process 10 times. Arthur started doing these exercises twice a day, once while reading the morning paper and once while watching the evening news. It took less than 5 minutes each time. Within a few weeks, he noticed a significant difference. Not only was he waking up less frequently, but he also felt more confident and in control during the day. His bladder was no longer dictating his schedule. Strengthening your pelvic floor creates a stronger foundation for your bladder, allowing it to hold more fluid comfortably throughout the night. When combined with the fluid management strategies we discussed earlier, you are addressing the issue from multiple angles, giving your body the best possible chance for uninterrupted sleep. Finally, we must talk about the environment you create for sleep. Your body relies on external cues, particularly light and temperature, to regulate its internal clock and hormone production. As we mentioned earlier, your brain produces an antidiuretic hormone, ADH, that slows urine production at night. This hormone is intricately linked to your circadian rhythm, which is governed by light exposure. When you spend your evening staring at the bright blue light of a television, tablet, or smartphone, you are sending a signal to your brain that it is still daytime. This artificial daylight suppresses the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone, and can also interfere with the natural rise in ADH. Your brain stays alert, your kidneys continue filtering at a daytime pace, and your bladder fills up faster. Arthur had a habit of reading news articles on his tablet right until he turned out the light. He didn't realize that this innocent habit was actively working against his goal of sleeping through the night. The solution is straightforward. Create a digital sunset. About an hour before you plan to go to sleep, turn off all screens. If you enjoy reading, switch to a physical book or an e-reader that does not emit blue light. Dim the lights in your living room and bedroom to signal to your brain that the day is ending. This simple shift allows your body's natural sleep mechanisms to take over. Melatonin levels rise, preparing you for deep sleep, and ADH production increases, slowing down your kidneys. You are creating the optimal biological environment for a full, restful night. Waking up multiple times a night is not just an annoyance, it is a serious disruption to your body's essential repair processes. Chronic sleep deprivation affects your memory, your mood, your immune system, and your overall quality of life. You deserve to wake up feeling refreshed, clear-headed, and ready to enjoy your day. By understanding the physiological mechanisms at play, gravity, sodium, hydration timing, muscle strength, and light exposure, you can take control of your health. You don't have to accept nocturia as an inevitable part of aging. Start by implementing just 1 or 2 of these zero-cost habits tonight. Elevate your legs in the late afternoon. Move your fruit intake to the morning. Establish a clear 2-hour hydration cutoff before bed. Practice your pelvic floor exercises while watching television. And give your brain a break from blue light before you sleep. These small, consistent changes can create a profound transformation. They worked for Arthur, and they can work for you. Remember, managing your health is about working with your body's natural biology, not just treating the symptoms. Thank you for watching, and here is to a peaceful, uninterrupted night's sleep.